It's a quiet, suburban neighborhood. Sarah, a young woman in her 20s, has just moved into a modest house on a street that looks peaceful enough. She's unpacking boxes, settling into her new life after a recent breakup. The place is cozy but isolated, and she hasn't had much time to meet the neighbors yet. One evening, Sarah notices her neighbor, Mr. Turner, an elderly man in his 70s, standing outside his front door watching her as she brings in groceries. He waves politely, and she smiles, giving a casual greeting. He seems harmless enough, but there's something about the way he watches her that feels off. "Sarah, hey there, I'm Sarah. Just moved in." "Mr. Turner, ah, yes, I noticed. Welcome to the neighborhood." He smiles, but his eyes don't seem to blink, and Sarah feels a strange chill. A few days later, Sarah is in her living room, looking out the window. She notices Mr. Turner again, but this time he's standing motionless by his window, watching her through the glass. The moment their eyes meet, he quickly pulls away, as if caught doing something wrong. It feels like an invasion of privacy, but she brushes it off as old age or a strange quirk. A week passes, and things seem fine, until one night, Sarah hears a knock at her door. It's late, almost 10 p.m. She opens it to find Mr. Turner standing there, holding a small jar of homemade jam. "Mr. Turner, I thought you might like some jam, dear. Homemade. I make it every year." Sarah, feeling a little uncomfortable but trying to be polite, accepts the jar, but his gaze lingers on her for too long. She thanks him and shuts the door. The next morning, Sarah discovers a small, unmarked package on her doorstep. There's no note, no return address. Inside, there's a framed photo of her, taken from her front yard. It's a picture of her standing by her car, looking down at her phone. She's shocked. It's a close-up shot, taken from behind a tree at her property line. It's as if someone had been watching her. She immediately checks the window to her neighbor's house. Mr. Turner's blinds are closed. She doesn't want to jump to conclusions, but the feeling of being watched is growing stronger. Later that week, Sarah decides to confront Mr. Turner. She walks over to his house, knocks on the door. He answers, and she tries to keep her voice steady as she asks about the photo and the package. "Sarah, Mr. Turner, I found a package on my doorstep this morning. It had a photo of me in it, from my front yard." Mr. Turner, with a vacant smile, I don't know anything about that. I don't leave my house much these days." He's still holding the door open, staring at her too long. Feeling uneasy, Sarah turns to leave, but as she walks down the steps, she notices the blinds of his window are slightly open. She gets the distinct feeling he's watching her again. That night, Sarah locks all her windows and doors, but around 3 a.m., she hears something. A faint tapping at her window. Her heart races as she slowly gets out of bed and creeps to the window. There's nothing there, but she feels the air growing colder, the room growing darker. The tapping continues, it's coming from the window beside her bed, just out of sight. She can't take it anymore. Sarah grabs her phone and calls the police, telling them she's being harassed by her neighbor. The police arrive shortly, but when they knock on Mr. Turner's door, there's no answer. They break in and find his house empty, except for a small journal on the kitchen table. The journal is filled with disturbing entries about Sarah, from detailed descriptions of her daily routines to notes about her movements. One page says, "Tonight, she'll finally see me." The police check his property for any signs of where he might have gone. After searching the backyard, they discover a hidden crawlspace under his house. Inside, they find a collection of Sarah's personal items, hairpins, a sweater, a scarf, things she never realized were missing. And in the back of the crawlspace, a small makeshift bed and a pair of binoculars, positioned perfectly to watch Sarah's house. The realization hit Sarah like a ton of bricks. Mr. Turner had been watching her all along, hiding in plain sight, and she was never safe in her own home. She sits on her couch, trying to process what just happened. The scene cuts to her peering through the blinds, her heart racing as she watches the empty street. The faint sound of a creaking floorboard echoes in the background, "You can't get away from me."